have been making so many booktube videos and I literally forgot to introduce myself. So this is what, hi YouTube, I am now here. Let's get into the video. Hey y'all, if you're new here, my name is BME Queen and I am a booktuber, but I never actually made like an introductory or hi booktube type of video. So that's what I'm doing in today's video. I want to formally introduce myself to you guys and tell you what you can expect on my channel as a new booktuber, to kind of like guide this video and give you guys just an idea of like who I am and why I'm even starting booktube. So let's start there. I have been on YouTube for less than a year, and for a long time I was making a ton of different videos where I was trying to figure out like what type of videos I wanted to make, and I feel like the videos that come across the most natural to me are booktube videos, like just talking about books because I love books so much. But I am a travel influencer here in LA, and all of my other social media points, so my Instagram, my TikTok, even my Pinterest, is all about travel. I love traveling. I've been traveling for so long, since I was really young, and it's something that I know a lot about and I'm really well versed on. However, I did make book talk videos back in the day, and by that I mean like maybe 6 months ago. I don't know. I make a book talk every here and again, but I feel like I just never have enough time to talk about all the things that I want to talk about with books, because there's just so many details and like so many things that you can say. And I've actually never been a part of a book club, so I have always read books similar to other people, but I never really had like a space where I could just like talk about books to people. And I feel like this is a way for me to do that. Like, I would love to hear what people have to say about the books that I read or the books that they would recommend for me to read. And I did work a full-time job, so I am a full-time influencer now, but I used to be a biomedical engineer, and I worked with other engineers, and my lab was actually mostly female, and a lot of the people I worked with did read, but we just didn't read the same type of books. So we would talk about books, but it would be like talking about two different worlds, you know? Like one person talking about apples, the other person talking about oranges. So it was like not a cohesive conversation, but we would still listen to each other because we're all still interested in books, you know? I think I used to read a lot of nonfiction, so a lot of memoirs. That's really how I got into reading as an adult, like in my adult life. I was reading a lot of personal finance, a lot of self-help. I was in a lot of therapy at the time. I'm still in therapy, but I just like am not in as intense therapy as I was before. And then I was also reading a lot of memoirs and biographies because I just like really wanted to hear how people were kind of like navigating life. And this was like my early 20s, so I'm now 27, but I just felt super lost in my life, and I think it was because I didn't really like what I was doing with my career as an engineer, so that definitely I think explains it now. But now that I am a full-time influencer, I have so much time to read, and I have started to branch out into what I call my happy era, where I just read stories that make me feel good and make me feel happy. A lot of the self-help stuff isn't necessarily sad, it just is very serious, where I want something a little bit more lighthearted, and I want to read something where I can just like talk about as if it were like a movie or a TV show. Speaking of which, I rarely watch TV or movies or TV. Like, I just like don't really watch it all unless it's reality TV. I will watch that every so often. I am not really into TV, but when I do watch, I will watch like documentaries and docuseries because I just really love learning. Like, I like to be that person that knows random facts about random things. It's always been me, and I've always had a joy for learning. I think that's why I stayed in school for so long when I didn't really need to, honestly. I do have a PhD in biomedical engineering. Again, I'm a full-time influencer, so yeah. I have a ton of videos on that already, like why I'm no longer in biomedical engineering. But now, since I'm in my happy era, I read a lot of mysteries, so true crime is one of my faves, literally my faves. And then I've also been dabbling in a lot of romance within the last like 3 months. So I wasn't a big romance reader at all. I actually really hated romance for this year because I thought it was really corny that you knew that the two main characters were gonna end up together. Like, I was just like, oh, like what is the point of reading it because they're gonna end up together? But now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I know they're gonna end up together because this is such a nightmare. So my mindset has really changed around reading romance and just reading in general, especially since now I'm in this fun era where I just like read stories that either I can connect with, or totally opposite, something I would never connect with and expect to actually experience in my own life. Those are just fun, and I really am reading again for enjoyment. I started reading, oh my gosh, ever since I learned how to read. I guess I've always been into books. When I was little, I used to read a ton of Junie B. Jones. Do you ever remember that series? That was my shit. Like, my brother was reading Magic School Bus, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cute, whatever, like, but that's really a TV show. I was really all about the Junie B. Jones. Like, that was it, my like chapter books. Like, and I would always ask for I would ask for Borders gift cards all the time. Y'all remember Borders? Like, that was an era. We're Borders, right? I used to go to Borders all the time with me, my brother, and my mom, and just buy books. And then it got to the point where I had so many books, my mom was like, this is too much, like, you're not even rereading them, let's just get a library card. So I did get a library card, and I would read books at least like twice, like 2 books a week, or we would go like every other week, I think, and I would like check out a few books here and there. I never actually read books where I saw myself represented, and that's so crazy. I think the first time I read a book where I was like, wow, like I really connect to this character, I had to be an adult. I think I was 18 years old by that point, which is really sad. Reading from 5 through 18 years and had never heard of or read about a character that was Black. Like, that's like actually wild. Even as like I was in college, I would always set like reading goals for myself. I think reading has always been fun for me because I was never forced upon me. Like, it was always something that I just genuinely enjoyed. There were a lot of like summer reading programs, right, where you have to like read a certain book and then you get tested and you go back. And my school district did that for like maybe 2 years, but then after they were like, they just want you to read. So all you had to do was keep a reading log and track what books you were reading every summer. And that was my absolute favorite because I wasn't forced to read the books that the school would tell me. Like, I could read whatever books I wanted. Ever since then, every single summer, even since grade school, like, I would just read books, and every summer I would set a goal for myself on how many books I wanted to read. And when I was in college, I remember setting myself like a 10-book reading goal for, you know, the 3-month summer, or the 4-month summer, because it was college. I would do it like every single summer. I would read at least 10 books or more and like push myself to do that. People thought I was weird for reading, which I'm still like, I guess, embarrassed about, or I was embarrassed about for a long time, that I was really interested in reading. I'm no longer embarrassed. I'm kind of like, it's a fun fact and like it makes me different. But for a while, like, I used to like hide books because like people would make fun of me for liking books, which is so strange. Since then, I have set annual reading goals for myself. I was working a full-time job, and also in, you know, my graduate school program, it was really hard, and I had to like set a structure for myself to actually set that goal. But this year I decided I was gonna set a goal of 52 books to read in a total year, because I knew I was going to be finishing graduate school. Now, what I didn't know was that I was going to get so burned out from writing my dissertation that I did not want to read at all. I went 3 months of not reading a single book. It was very weird for me. Like, I actually felt like something was wrong with me because I had never been through a reading slump that long and that serious. Like, I mean, I had so many books ready and I didn't even want to look at them. Like, it was actually really bad. And so one day I was kind of like, you know what? Do something that you know you like, or read something that you know you like. So I picked up a book that I've already read before, and I was like, okay, yeah, like, I actually really do like reading. I just like was in this weird like slump era. It was really bad, whatever. So when I picked up books again this year, I was like, you know, I'm really gonna try to push to get to this 52 book goal. And right now I'm on book number 37. So go me. And I've been picking up the pace where I'm reading about 10 to 15 books a month, which is a lot and will help me catch up. It's a lot more than what I was reading previously. So I feel like I'm really trying to, like, you know, make this deadline. Overall, I enjoy reading so much. Like, it has always been a part of me that I feel like I never really expressed. I feel like I can just talk about it online and hopefully people enjoy it. Since I wasn't exposed to books, Black books, where I feel like I was represented, that's almost all of what I read. So I would say about more than 50, maybe like 65% of my library is Black owned books. I love that about me. I love that I have finally found authors that will represent me in stories, even if it's not me specifically, but it's someone that, you know, looks like me, or someone that I would be friends with, or someone I could connect with. Like, that is so powerful to me. And I love Black books so much more because I feel like the characters are so well thought out and so well developed, whereas if I read a white authored book, I feel like the setting is described well, but the characters are kind of like meh, you know? So I read a lot of Black owned books on purpose. And since I live in LA, I moved here 8 months ago. I moved here a little bit ago. And since I moved here, I now can go to these Black owned bookstores, which is a new thing for me because I used to live in Delaware and there was no Black owned bookstores. The closest one was an hour and a half away, so it was outside of Philly that I had to drive to. Now I have access to all of these bookstores and all these books and also all these readers. Like I will go to the bookstore and just talk about books with people, and that is the coolest thing to me. Like I just enjoy it so much. On this channel, I'm obviously gonna be talking about books, but most of the books I'm gonna talk about are actually Black books, which I don't see too many booktubers doing. I see a handful of Black booktubers doing it, right? But it also is a reflection of the actual book industry because I think it's like 13% of the books published every year are Black authored books, and that's increased since 2020. Before it was like 9%. So we are seeing more Black books on the shelves, but obviously we want to see more. I do see other Black booktubers talking about Black books, and that really makes my heart warm because I know other people are looking for it. I like to watch their videos to see what they're talking about so I can find it myself. I also am a travel influencer too. So you see my life in LA. I do a lot of like day in the life vlogs to show people what it's like to live here because I wondered for so long and I never really felt like I found a YouTuber or a channel that really portrayed it accurately. I am blatantly honest. So I'm a Sagittarius, so that means I love to travel, but also I am very, very honest. Like I'm gonna give you my unsolicited truth and it's gonna be authentic, and that's what you can expect every single time. So this channel is gonna be half booktube, half travel. I release 2 videos every single week, so you'll always see a video from me, and it'll either be about travel or it'll be about booktube or books that I'm reading. So I do like to rank books. I like to rate them as well. I rate books based on my personal experience with them. I really don't like taking the popular books from social media and reading them because a lot of times I don't like them. Like I don't. So if I pick it up on my own, I am more likely to like it because it's something that I am interested in. But if I'm talking to someone on the street and they're like, oh, read this book, I'm like, yeah, girl, whatever. Like, whatever. You're really going to hear a lot about my personal opinion, and you probably won't hear a lot about popular books unless I'm doing a video where I'm like, I read these popular books and here's what I actually think type of thing. So if you want one video like that, let me know. Okay, in terms of book series, I used to read a ton of series growing up. So I love Twilight. Like who didn't read Twilight, honestly? Like if you didn't read Twilight, what were you doing? I love Twilight. I did read 50 Shades of Grey when that came out. I don't think my mom knew that what I was reading. So yeah, that was cool. Since I'm out of school, I have not read any series or book series that I really like. I will read a book from the series and then I will kind of like, if another book comes out, I'll maybe pick it up, you know, maybe I won't. I'm not really dedicated to a series. However, I am dedicated to authors. If I find an author that I like their writing style, then I'll pick up their book again. But if their writing style is not my jam, I'm gonna find a new author that I like. So I do read a lot of new authors or authors that are new to me. I will step out of my comfort zone all the time to read new authors. It's less likely for me to reread the same authors. So if you do see me rereading books, it's because I really, really like their books. I have been making so many booktube videos already. So if you're just now finding me, like, who is this girl? Go watch my videos. I have a ton already. There's a whole playlist of booktube videos that you can watch already. And hopefully you stick around and really enjoy my channel. As you can tell, I am pretty bubbly, bright, and in your face. So I'm like this in most of my videos, unless I'm really tired and I'm recording really, really early in the morning. But this is what I'm like in real life. So thank you guys for tuning in, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. But if you don't want to wait that long, just go on over to my channel. You can check out everything I've already posted. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.